Arsenal have started to make contacts with Mohammed Kudus to potentially bring the Ghanaian to the Emirates next season. Yes, people, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you do not want to miss daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is the place to be. Make sure you subscribe down below. I'm already to 4,000 subscribers, and importantly, hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. And let me know in the comment section your thoughts on Kudus' potential move to Arsenal. Let's not waste any more time and get straight into the tweet brought today by Dobbo stating this: hope everyone has a great weekend. Looking forward to seeing Arsenal batter United tomorrow. Is not a friendly, but let's get into the main part. Also, Arsenal held initial talks with the agents of Kudus. Early stages, but let's see what happens. Enjoy your weekends, Gooners, and this is really interesting news, guys, and really important news as well. Now, I'll tell you why. Now, if this is true, because obviously every tweet and every journalist story you have to take with a little pinch of salt, it's really positive, because when it comes to signing players, it's nothing like career mode. Those of you that played FIFA career mode before, I don't know what it's called now. I think it's EA Sports FC or whatever it is, right? I don't play FIFA. You go to try and sign a player with the club, and then you negotiate with the player. But in real life, it's completely the opposite. You go to the player first. You understand what the player wants. You understand the player would fit in with your culture, with your style. You understand what sort of wages the player would want, what sort of game time the player would want. And once you get that on the player's side sorted, then you go to the club and try and sort out a transfer deal. That's how it works in real life. And that's a really good sign that Arsenal approached Kudus and tried to get some initial talks done. Now, if this story had come out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have thought much of it. But we've signed Timber, we've signed Rice, we've signed Havertz. Now we're approaching Kudus' agents. That means that we've made our purchases already. Arsenal understand we've spent over 210 million or so, but we still want to sign more players. We've now gone on to approach more agents, then go on to look at Kudus and go, this is going to be player number 4 potentially. That's a really positive sign. Now, I released a video on Kudus early this week, right? And I said in that video that I'm not sure if Arsenal necessarily need him, man. I'm not going to say I've changed my mind in that sense, but one thing that was brought to my attention was his versatility to potentially be a Bukayo Saka backup right winger. I didn't even consider that, to be honest. Now, Kudus at Ajax, I would say, has been used incorrectly. He's been used as centre forward, like in that Kai Havertz position for Chelsea, and I'm not a fan of him in that role. I remember for Ghana in the World Cup, he was absolutely fantastic as a box-to-box midfielder, and that's what I see him playing. But clearly he has got the potential to be a right winger, a backup to Bukayo Saka. Maybe that's what Arteta sees in the man, and if that's the case, who am I to discredit that? We know Arsenal in the market for another right-sided forward, because if you look at our front line, right, we've got Jesus, we've got Nketiah Balogun in that striking position. Now, I personally believe we can upgrade and get a proper goal-scoring striker, but that's neither here nor there. Left wing, we've got Martinelli and Trossard. For me, that's absolutely fantastic. 2 brilliant left wingers. But if you look at right wing, we've got Bukayo Saka, and then you've got Reiss Nelson. And for me, Reiss Nelson isn't even really a right winger. He's more of a left winger because he's right-footed, right? So if I look at it from that sense, right wing definitely someone we can bring in a backup player in. Because if you look at Bukayo Saka, right, the man's absolutely fantastic. For me, he's world class. And in my eyes, he's the best right winger in the world right now. I'm not saying he's the best winger, but in my eyes, he's the best right wing in the world right now. But even so, even though the man is Superman, he's Starboy, he can't play every single game. You saw what happened last season. You saw what happened the season before. When he gets to game 30 to 38 of the season, he starts to tail off, runs out of energy because he's playing too many games. He's burning out. It's inevitable. Even the best players in world football can rarely be at the peak of their powers for a 38-game season. They're going to need a couple, 3 weeks, maybe rest, or subbing in as a potential player off the bench just to recharge their batteries a little bit and keep them invested and keep them hungry to start games. Do you get what I mean? But I feel like Saka, he was just forced to start every game because we didn't have adequate replacements for him in the team. Now, bringing in Kudus is that type of player. Now, whether he can play that right wing position, that's yet to be seen. As I said before, I loved him in that box-to-box role for Ghana in the World Cup. I think it was absolutely fantastic there, and I believe that's his strong point. But then again, we know versatility can be a skill. So many times versatility has been frowned upon in football. Oh, what's your best position? Are you a left back? Are you a right back? Are you a left winger? Are you centre mid? It's been frowned upon. But when are we going to start looking at it as a skill? Why has James Milner survived so long in the Premier League? He's now gone from Liverpool to Brighton, another great Premier League team. Because of his versatility. He can play right back. He can play centre mid. He can play right wing. If you told him to play goalkeeper, he'd probably do it. Do you get what I mean? Look at Bukayo Saka. When he first came into the team, he came in as a left wing back. He didn't sit there like Ainsley Maitland-Niles and complain that he wasn't playing in his preferred midfield position. He just rolled his sleeves up and got on with it. And now look at Saka. He turned out to be one of the best right wingers in world football. Because if you get your chance and be versatile, and if you get your chance to be able to plug in many positions, you will shine because you'll be given an opportunity. And that's the main thing. I think Kudus could be that. Arteta has proven, in my eyes, I think he's a really good man manager, Arteta. Really good coach. Because you can't say that about a lot of managers. Like, genuinely, a lot of managers can coach players, right? And they can manage brilliant teams. But how many coaches do you actually see make players better and make them like evidently better? Look at Granit Xhaka. Under Arsene Wenger and Unai Emery, he was an okay player, had his flaws, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans wouldn't have minded if we sold him. This summer he's been sold to Bayer Leverkusen, and a lot of Arsenal fans were upset by that. Now, me personally, I was upset he was going, but I understood it. I've said goodbye, Xhaka, thank you for your time. But a lot of Arsenal fans were genuinely distraught that Xhaka was gone. Why? Because Arteta coached him and made him a better player. He changed his position. He evaluated the player and said, you know what? This isn't the right role for you. Let me try and play you as a box-to-box midfielder. Let me see if I can get the most out of you. And lo and behold, Xhaka had his best season in an Arsenal shirt by a country mile last year. Maybe something similar could happen with Kudus. If Arteta wants a player, I back it. I stand behind it. If Arteta wants to play Kudus a right wing, I stand behind it. Maybe he sees something that we potentially don't as Arsenal fans. So I'm really liking the fact Arsenal made initial talks with the agents. That is positive signs. Because if you go and talk to the agents, more often than not, you do feel like you couldn't get a deal across. You can feel like you want to get the player over the line. Let's see how this progresses. I do think it's a deal Arsenal can pull off for multiple reasons. One, we know Kudus is a massive fan of Arsenal. Two, we know that he doesn't want to stay at Ajax, given that A, he doesn't want to sign a contract extension, and the fact that he wasn't really happy there. We know Ajax could be willing to listen to offers. We know Arsenal and Ajax already are on good terms after the Urian Timber deal. It seemed like it was really amicable negotiations. They wouldn't burn any bridges in that sense. So I think it's a deal Arsenal can get across. The main thing is, can we sell first to bring in the capital to get Kudus? Because it will cost around 40 million, I reckon. But I think it would be a good signing for Arsenal. I do think so. I really like his potential. Even the fact that he plays like a modern day footballer. He's still young, still very, very young, under 23 years of age, I believe. But he's got that press resistant style to him, where he can get the ball on the turn. He's got bags of energy, bags of stamina, up and down, all day, every day. And I think he can fit in that versatile system Arteta wants to play. Because I think Arteta's made it clear that last season he loved what Arsenal were doing, but we were too rigid. In the sense that everyone knew Arsenal's best 11. Ramsdale, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. That was Arsenal's best 11, no questions asked. I think now we're guessing what is Arsenal's best 11. What is the starting 11 we expect Arteta to use? I think Arteta likes that. He likes having a bit of ambiguity with the fans and with the other teams. He likes having that bit of like that mystery where, what am I going to play? Is it going to be Partey, Rice, Odegaard? Is it going to be Rice, Havertz, Odegaard? Is it going to be Timber and then Kivior at left back? Is it going to be White and Zinchenko at right back and left back? Who knows? I think Arteta likes that. And Kudus is another player in that sense. He's versatile, so he can help Arteta adapt and play different formations. And he could play right wing, but then in the game he can slot into midfield. I think it all adds to what Arteta wants to build at Arsenal Football Club. I think he'd be a brilliant player, a coachable player as well. And so I'd love to see Arsenal bring in if we can sell right and sign him. I do expect a lot of transfer activity to occur in the final month of August and leading into there as we are nearing the end of July. And if you're appreciating all the Arsenal transfer content daily on this channel, make sure you subscribe down below. I'm road to 4,000 subscribers because you do not want to miss the consistent daily uploads. Again, tomorrow, my next transfer video will be out regarding Arsenal. Make sure you drop a like down below so you don't miss it. And also, I hope to catch you all in my next one. Take care.